pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Begin with the preview and approval of the agenda. Accept the motion.
Move to approve the agenda as presented.
All those in favor, please signify by aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. Have the consent agenda.
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify by aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. Do you have any audience delegations? We do not. Under old business, we just have new business. 6A, superintendent's update.
Okay, we've got a few things tonight. First of all, I want to go over our attendance for October, and we've got some discrepancies, not as in things are often wrong. We just, when we have students that are virtual or come in our days for homeschool and others, it causes our numbers to be a little off. But the positive piece here is that we are really close to last year's October count, and that's good news that we are not continuing to drastically decline, and hopefully as we continue throughout the school year, we'll continue to add wonderful students to our district. We also have our What's Great today, and our What's Great today is going to be presented by Mrs. Knox. Mrs. Filer is out of the district at this time, and so Mrs. Knox, would you share with us today?
Yeah, I get to do Jill's fun stuff. So first up, we have our first round of special guests. So I will have Mr. Lorbe come up and introduce our first special guest for What's Great.
I will do very little talking here, and I will introduce, first we have our cross-country coach, Coach Sean Gibbs, if he wants to come up here. And we will bring one of our student athletes up here, Kaylee Norris, and I'm sure he's going to tell you all the awesome and amazing things that she is doing. Well, unfortunately, I have to wear glasses now from the last time I did that, so that's a little depressing. But this is Kaylee. She's a junior for us, and just has had just a fantastic cross-country career. Coach Bliss talked to me as when she was a freshman and said, "Hey, I've got this runner that's an 800 runner that's pretty good." And she's never ran cross country, but I talked to Kaylee about it. And she's very goal oriented. She's very results driven, like I am. And I thought, well, this is what I would say to me. And so I showed it to her, and she was very interested. And so last year she went out, and tennis was kind of her primary, but cross country was her secondary, and even doing that, she won 4 championships last year, was district champ. She broke the old school record by Kaylee Harp, who's running at Northwest Missouri State right now. She broke that 4 times during the season and ended up finishing a minute faster and finished 9th in the state. Was all conference, all district, all state. This year she decided to focus on cross country. She's won 5 championships. This year, she's went under that old Kaylee Harp record 7 times. In fact, 6 times she's won under 19 minutes. So that's 3.1 miles in 19 minutes. You guys can do the math on that. She's won quite a few just impressive championships. She won the Tim Nixon Invitational, where she finished first out of 178 runners, and that's one of the largest meets in the state, one of the big ones in Kansas City. She won the Missouri Southern Stampede, where she was first out of 270 runners. And then at Gans, which is at the University of Missouri, she finished second out of 275 runners in the highest class. There's a girl in class 5 out of St. Louis that got her, but she beat everybody else in class 5, and then we run in class 4. She's about a minute ahead of everybody in class 4 right now. What I just talked about Kaylee, she's obviously very talented, but she's very driven. She's a very responsible young lady. She's one of the few athletes that I've had where I said, hey, put together your own program on this. You're at a different level than everybody we have, and put that trust in her that she's that driven, again, that goal oriented. She's going to be very successful outside of cross country. Great work ethic, very confident but humble. And I'll talk about the story and then I'll sit down. But kind of had, when we were at Gans, I noticed, so Gans, you got all these hundreds of spectators there, and I heard these two girls go, hey, that's Kaylee Norris. Can you believe that? That's Kaylee Norris. And so they were girls from Holden, and I just thought that was super cute. And so I didn't say anything to her, but we were at our last meet at Warrensburg, and this girl from Holden, it had to be one of those girls, comes up and goes, can I take my picture with you? And so what was cool about it, and this just tells you, it just gives you a look into Kaylee a little bit, was she took the picture and everything, and the girl left, and I said, how's it feel to be a celebrity? And she kind of, and she goes, the thing about it, Coach, she goes, last year I was doing that about other girls. And that just really kind of lets you see kind of who Kaylee is, where she's confident, she knows she's good, but at the same time, very, very humble. So, thank you.
Kaylee, they might have some questions for you.
Oh, okay.
If you wouldn't mind that. First of all, I want to say, I can't think of a better person to represent the greatness of Harrisonville than Kaylee Norris. You are an absolute star. And like I said, Jill has posted you everywhere that you possibly can, but every time I see something about you, I'm blown away, and we are absolutely grateful as a district to have you here.
Thank you.
So Kaylee, behind every great runner and athlete, student, are some parents.
Yeah, so that's my mom, and then my dad, and they've always been there for me, and I think they're like my number one supporters. So yeah.
What goal have you set for yourself now for next year?
I don't know. I think just like staying consistent and like staying healthy is like my biggest things, and just seeing where that can take me.
What motivates you the most?
I'd say myself actually, like relying on myself to motivate me, and like even sometimes when I'm not motivating, just knowing that like what I can get to by just myself.
KU doesn't have a cross country program, do
They do, yeah.
Are you faster than your brother?
Which accomplishment are you the most proud of?
I'd say in track, when I broke 5 in the mile, was definitely like the biggest accomplishment, because I never thought I could do that. Like, it was my first year doing the mile, and I was like, I just want to like see what I can do. And then by the end of the year, I was like in the 450s. So yeah.
Good job.
Congratulations.
Well, we want to get a picture of you if you're okay with that. Nancy, who do you want to?
Ashley, would you like to go? And Michael, would you like to go? Picture maybe this famous person. This famous person.
You knew her when.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
I'll play more.
Coach, would you go in there?
Coach, you
Let's
get
get
together.
Coach in there
You got
too. Get in there, Michael.
Hold on.
Plenty of space. There we go.
Yep.
Very nice.
Wow, Mr. Knox, that's a hard one to beat. That was amazing. You gonna try to beat that?
Oh wait, there's more.
All right.
All right, so I will have Miss Campbell come up to introduce our next special guest, which is our ECC community peddlers.
Can I just say, though, I one time ran a mile in like 15 minutes. So watch out, girl.
It's never too late.
Never too late.
You have all retirement.
Oh, that's what I'll do when I retire. Okay. I have got some special friends, and first I want to say I've also got Mrs. Dubray here with me tonight. She's doing internship hours towards an administration degree, and I haven't scared her off yet. So she's here tonight to help. And we've got some friends that if my kindergarten friends want to come on up, I'll tell them why we're here. We have been doing a unit this last month. We incorporate with ELA and our social studies, but also counseling, talking about future careers and helpers that are in our community. So we've had visitors come in, we've had videos, teachers are reading books, doing lots of talking about how there are people in our community that help us every day. On Friday is the end of our unit, and so all of these friends and all of their friends at school are going to be doing a presentation for their class, which is the beginning of teaching them some public speaking, where they're going to share some things about their job. And then we're going to be parading around the parking lot for all the parents to come and see us. And actually, I've added to our gig, Mr. Grantham wants us to come to the middle school. So we'll head on.
Big time.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna get started. I'm gonna have everybody scoochy so they can see how adorable you are. Now, they have kind of got their own presentation, but I told them this morning that I would help them if they forgot what they were gonna say. All right, Judson, you wanna go first? Someone else.
And I'll go second.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Jetson,
And I'm Lynn.
police officer, and I'm a police officer.
What tools do you use?
And cuffs,
And where do you do your job?
a police station.
Very good. And why is your job so important?
They can stop bad guys.
You do. Very good. Okay, do you want to go next?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you can stand right here. For Jensen, you can sit right here. Babe. Okay.
My name is Xander Hill, and I help the houses from bad guys.
What are your tools?
Handcuffs and walkie-talkies and police badges
And where do you do your job?
in my police station.
That's right. Good job. Okay.
My name is Ryan. I am a teacher. My tools are a piece of paper, a pen, a clipboard, and a computer. I work at ECC in Hamptonville, and my job is important because I teach kids.
And can I? In true teacher fashion.
Very
nice. She had her notes, in case she forgot what to say. What kinds of things do you do for your job?
What's that logo on that side of that party? What's the American flag say? On your hard hat.
And why is your job so important? Why is that important to build things? Where do people live? Yeah. Really important.
I see another tool in your tool belt. What else do you have there? What are those? What are those things? You know.
My name is David and I'm a doctor.
Hey.
Doctor's office. Medicine. Band-Aid.
Oh, that's a big one. Yikes.
Otoscope.
Wait, a what? What is
Yeah,
that?
no.
Ah,
Insulin. Doctors.
Stethoscope.
Why is your job?
I help people when they're sick.
Very good.
Very good. Well, we really appreciate you guys coming tonight, and we want to get a picture of all of you too, if you don't mind.
Yes.
Well, so Ryan,
Parents, you're welcome to get pictures too.
Community helpers, we have some more community helpers that are going to come take a picture with you.
Oh, these are community helpers too. Okay, ready?
Right here, guys.
Thank you guys all so much for coming. Thank you. You guys are welcome to go home and do all your evening things.
Thank you, parents.
so much.
Appreciate you.
Otoscope.
Oh, I do remember. I have some
Very good. That's right. Thanks for being the world support.
Very impatient.
Thank you guys. I need to. I need my own trainer.
Nothing but time, right?
Wow, so Mrs. Knox, I know you got a few more things, but I'd like to tell you that that was amazing. That's why we're here. That's pretty amazing.
Yes, and it is very neat if you ever get the opportunity to see the parade. It's also a fun experience as well. Okay, so my next what's great is Sonic Locker Room Radio Show. We so every week there is a radio show, and there are archived radio sessions online as well. But each week there's a featuring HHS sport and activity, and then the coach and sponsor and 2 participants will go and participate in that Sonic Locker Room Radio Show. And then she has on here one of 18 area high schools. This week is the Royal Regiment Marching Invitational. Last week was tennis, so you can see the picture there of the tennis coach with 2 of the girls' tennis players. And then we want to give a special shout out to Robin Garrett, who helps make it all happen each week and helps organize that and make sure that it goes on. But it is very neat. If you haven't listened to the Sonic Locker Room Radio Show, it's a great opportunity to hear our kids kind of talk about what they're doing each week. And our last couple of things are 2 anniversary celebrations. One which we had, which was the McEwen 50th celebration, where we had the open house with student tours and group photos, and it was really neat to have alumni come and teachers that have retired or moved on, and then the time capsule that we were able to put things there, the little notes from kids and stuff in the time capsule that they're going to find a place to hide and bury somewhere with Dr. Parker's assistance somewhere in McEwen. And then an upcoming anniversary, the FFA, the 75th anniversary, they are actually doing a fish fry this Saturday from 6 to 8. I think it's kind of just drop in, and there's going to be a presentation. It's on that, the details are on the flyer that they sent out, but yeah, that they get a time to spotlight their 75 years of us having a FFA chapter. And that are just a few of the things of what's great.
Thank you, Mrs. Knox, we appreciate that.
Well, I just wanna say the 50th anniversary of McEwen was amazing. It was very, I'm sorry Jill's not here, it was very well put together, and it was just so enjoyable to see all the teachers and former principals come back. And they were just beside themselves to see each other again and just hang out and have fun and take tours of the building. It was really, really enjoyable.
It was, and Dr. Love, I know she didn't ask for her building to be 50 years old and have that, all those people come by, but as soon as she was asked, she was very gracious, and it was a very welcoming environment, so thank you for doing that.
It was very.
I really enjoyed watching the kids give Dan Airholt a tour of the building.
Yeah, that was.
That was hilarious. He was just there.
Thank you. Well, we will move on to 6D, strategic plan update.
So this is just a reminder that during our winter retreat that we will set here in just a little bit, we will have our facilitator for our CSIP process come and answer any questions that we have and go through what that new CSIP process will look like, so that we can have a new CSIP in place by the end of this school year, ready for our 24-25 school year. And that plan should be presented as a 5-year plan for us.
Sounds good. 6C, finance update. In the world of school finance, we have finished our first quarter of the year already. Overall revenues are at 13% of the budget, which is very comparable to last year. Just a couple highlights on our year-to-date revenues. Interest revenues continue to be astronomically high. We've already put in $270,000 in just in interest revenue this fiscal year. Not sure how much longer that will keep up, but it's looking pretty good in the future, actually. And then another highlight that I wanted to make sure you were aware of is that our PN students at the CCC were awarded $90,000 from Casey Scholars Organization. Really? So that was, I don't know, Ann, if you have any additions, just highlight on that, or
sure.
So the interesting part about that is also that it was the first time that they've ever supported, where I want to stand, they've ever supported a program like that. Typically the branch of KC Scholars we were working with is for very short-term programming and at a lower rate. Is typically the types of programs they support, but they do support adults going back to skill up and get an advanced certification in something. So we are the first practical nursing program across the state that they've chosen to cooperate with and kind of support. So each one of the students that we had at the beginning of the year was awarded that to go towards their tuition rate, which helped some of them get completely out from under some payments that they had with us, and some others that we were able to defer and actually not accept some of the loans that they were going to take out in financial aid. So it was a huge advantage for those students, because if you didn't know, they aren't able to work during this program, and so when they join us at the end of July all the way through June, they're not working, and a lot of them are helping support families. So it was a huge economic advantage for each one of those students to be able to have that opportunity. So I think Jill did have a write-up about it, but I can absolutely share that with you all if you haven't seen that piece. So.
Thanks, I'm sorry to put you on the spot.
No, I'm glad I.
And then moving on to expenditures, overall we're at 18% of budget, up slightly from last year to date, mainly because we did have quite a few summer projects with the concrete and asphalt and fencing this year. So it was good to get those projects out of the way. Overall, with our fund balance, we're at 32% compared to 26% last year, and our cash investments are sitting at $15.1 million. So we're looking good. Good report. Does anybody have questions for Deb? Thank you very much. Okay, we'll move on to item 6D, MSBA delegate report. And Ashley Ashley Franklin's gonna update us.
So on October 4th, our school board attended the MSBA Region 4 meeting at the Belton High School. This was a great opportunity for board members and superintendent to network and build rapport with other local school districts in the area. The Harrisville School Board will also be attending the 2023 MSBA Annual Conference that will be held in Kansas City on Thursday, November 2nd through Saturday, November 4th. We are excited to be able to participate in this. This will include keynote speaker Sadie St. Lawrence, who is a renowned expert on artificial intelligence in education. Her session will be the Mind of the Future, Creativity, Ethics, and AI in Education. On Saturday, we will get to see John Canoas, an ABC News veteran, who is also known as creator and host of the series, What Would You Do? Will share his focus on his odds-defying journey, celebrate the life-changing power of education, champion the Latino American dream, and provide thought-provoking insights into the human nature and ethical behavior. And then lastly, on Saturday, we will have the opportunity to listen to Devin Henderson, who is described as a multi-talented powerhouse speaker and performer who will deliver the ultimate keynote experience and inspire resilience. And as I said, the board is attending the different workshops in Educational Expo at the largest gathering of educational leaders in Missouri, so we can learn how to be great board members for our students, teachers, and community.
Thank you. And I would just like to add for board members, if you haven't downloaded the app for the conference, it is very helpful for you to plan your day because there's so many breakout sessions.
And I think that's the only way you'll get board member credit.
Yeah, they do everything through the app, so make sure you've got that downloaded. And also Saturday afternoon, there's an afternoon breakout session that meets the requirement that we all have to do unless you're a brand new board member for the yearly state requirement for the, what's it called, Susan?
Certified board member.
Yeah,
So
but the one that you have to
yearly-
update the security and
The section misconduct.
Yeah. We all have to be aware of the rules and regulations, and every year we have to do it either online or do it live at the conference. So just be aware of that. If you want to do it at the conference, it's right there and you can take care of it, so that's a good thing to do too. Thank you, Ashley. Item 6E, district survey.
So, I had talked earlier at our summer retreat for us to look at the possibility of a demographic survey for our district in order to provide us with some data and some information that currently we just either do not have or do not know about. And so I have a special guest today, Preston Smith, who is here, and he is going to be sharing what he does, what his company has the ability to provide for our district. This is important information as I talked about our CSIP, because when you go into your strategic planning for the next 5 years, there's a lot of good information that you need for that. So tonight really is just an opportunity for Preston to share with us what he does. Please feel free to ask any questions that you have. He's a wealth of information regarding this. And then afterwards we can decide whether we'd like to move forward in looking at what this might entail.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate the chance to be here tonight. It's been a long time since I've done a presentation like this before a board. Usually I do a project when we close out, but this will give you a high-level overview. We'll go fairly quickly here. First slide here, over the last 30 years, we pulled so much information off the internet. It's remarkable. And next slide. And what we used to take weeks or years to gather, you couldn't get it all, and then you could get it in pretty much a few days or a week. Okay, next. In our projects, we work with many school districts around the country, and it's basically 5 questions that administrators want to know. They want to know about the enrollment, where it's headed, or whether or not their buildings are going to be able to hold their capacity, or whether or not they have some excess capacity. We look at boundary line changes, we see what the overall population growth is, and we even help districts find locations for new buildings if they need it, help with site selection. Okay, next. For enrollment, we look at, for an old slide, we actually go close to 40 years of data when we work in those districts. We pretty well exhaust what's out there. We make sure that when we finish a project, there's not a rock left unturned. We get everything that's out there. Other demographic firms come through and they give you like a half dozen PowerPoint slides and they call it good. But our typical study is more than 100 pages, sometimes 200 or 300, depending on the size of the district. But we analyze it inside and out, and that way we know when we're done that we're confident that our numbers are correct. So we have statistical models. Next slide. And we just did a snapshot, and we look and see how accurate we've been over the last few years. These are like 40 projects from like 2016, 17 to like 2019. We didn't get COVID years because those are the anomalies. So some of the projects we anticipated, projected during those would be probably off. But during that time, our median variance is only like between 0.1% and 0.2. We hardly ever miss. Next. Here's some examples. Districts your size, like in Republic, Missouri, in 2015, we projected enrollment of about 5,049. In 2021, 6 years later, we're going to miss their enrollment by about 40 students. A total variance in those 6 years is 129 kids total that we were off. In Nixa, we averaged about 71 students variance total a year, and they're a growing district, a little bit tougher to predict. A little more variability. In Green Valley,
in 2016, we projected enrollment about 4,500. Okay, just came to life. And
we only missed their enrollment by a few. I mean, total variance we had in Green Valley is 146 total in 5 years. So the bottom line is we go into the district, we're accurate, we have projections we do for 10 years out. So it's not anything that we come in, you say you have to update every single year. I mean, here in the Republic, it's been almost 10 years since we've done a project with them because the numbers are still right. In fact, the more accurate we are, the more we work ourselves out of the job. Okay, next. We do 3 different models, a high end, a mid-range, and a low end, and we base that on our statistical modeling. Next. And we also include a lot of different vendor data. We include many inputs. We look at home constructions, house sales, general economy, job creation. We look at traffic patterns sometimes. So we include a lot of different inputs. Next. We have a mapping person that works with us. We do an incredible amount of analysis of data that we buy. We put together some amazing maps, and they tell quite the story. It makes it a lot easier for people to see visually. Next. Our capacity analysis, we work with districts to figure out basically what are you looking at for long term. We do the enrollment, or your building's going to hold the capacity, or you're going to have some excess capacity, so you have to look at closing some buildings. We worked with a district in Oklahoma City that had 42,000 students, and we recommended closing 30 schools, and we did that within about a 6-month period. We actually closed 20. That's really going to be the growth area in a lot of public school districts, where it's looking at it's closing buildings and not so much opening. But we don't know what your district will get and start doing some analysis, where that is. Next. And here's basically an analysis of one formula we use is look at gross square footage per building, and we have a formula for students per gross square foot, and it tells you basically what we believe can show capacity. Sometimes you have architects that they like to walk down through the hallways and give a show that they know what they're doing when it comes to capacity, but basically I can crunch the numbers from my laptop or computer and say with a high degree of accuracy of how many kids can fit in that building without walking through each building. Next. Look at boundary changes, whether or not you need to rebalance enrollment to maybe fit in the buildings a little bit better. And we tweak those. We can do those actually on the fly online. We went through simulations pretty quick. Next.
Our population growth, which is where it's headed, and each community is a little bit different, so we see what's happening there. Our vendor data that we get is actually data that they derive from retail stores and grocery stores of what products people buy. For example, your Walmart, your grocery store here in town, if you've got a large sale right now, a normally large sale of say, disposable diapers for kids, in 5 years, our data would show that your kindergarten enrollment should grow. But if it's a different kind of disposable diaper for adults, then all of a sudden, it's totally different. So, but they actually can crunch those numbers fairly quickly, like within about a couple of weeks, to roll that data up and give us what each community is different. But it's actually based on a lot of retail sale data. They didn't do that 20 years ago. Okay, next. How our firm is different from others, we're very thorough. We're also flexible in our design. If you've got questions or things you want to pop in there and do research, we can do that. We have a standard format that we do follow. We were the first company and one of the very few vendors that offer services that we offered flat rates. We started that a long time ago because at the time other places were using a model like lawyers. They charge you per hour and charge you for emails and phone calls and everything else. Our fee's always been a total flat rate from the get-go. We say here's what we'll charge, and we never charge them anything more. Next. We do like a breakdown for each building. So if you wanted to give a couple of pages to a principal to see where the enrollment's headed, we do that, make it easy to share with other staff people. Next. A little bit of my background to close this out. I worked for 10 years as a news reporter. I spent 5 on Capitol Hill and then a White House and Capitol Hill Press Pass. I've done about 10,000 interviews. From there, I changed, switched gears, went back to college. I became a data analyst with this performance auditor for the city of Kansas City. For almost 20 years now, I've been a school district monitor around the country. There's a few than a dozen that do what I do. Next. I have a graduate degree from the University of Missouri, School of Journalism, and a graduate degree in public administration and statistics. Next. Our organization, we contract everybody. We have nobody full time. So during the COVID years, we were able to weather it fairly well. And since we didn't have the overhead, I saw a lot of my competition go out of business. But by having contractors, we get the very best in the country, and we pay them the top fee. So that we couldn't afford them, and they were full time on our staff. But on a contract basis, we were able to get some really high school people. Okay, next. And we have done projects in 15 states. We've done a project in Alaska with a school district that was larger than the state of West Virginia. We've, as I said, won Oklahoma over 40,000 students. Our smallest is 400. But we do nationwide. We finished a project just a few weeks ago in New Hampshire. We got one large project and we're doing in St. Louis next. Finally, the items that you can include here is we do a free voter analysis for any district that works with us to try to help them do analysis of where you get your vote out, how to win elections. We're looking at about 100 elections. We also look at parcels to see whether or not your assessor is assessing the parcels correctly and what kind of value you've got. And we actually, sometimes in the state, we find the assessor makes mistakes. Sometimes they're huge. Our biggest one that we found was probably a few years ago in Platte County. It was an 18-hole golf course, and they had one golf course. They put all 18 holes within one school district. When we analyzed the boundary lines, the 19th hole should have been in some other school district, and it was valued at $1 million. So they transferred $1 million 19th hole to or 18th hole to another school district, and that pretty will pay my fee for about 10 years. Okay, we help with business lists. If you want to try to contact businesses for like a foundation or fundraising, we can do that for you for free. Next slide. We look at homeschool enrollment, private school enrollment to see how competitive they are. We can buy specialized lists for that too, to see how many students you've got that are not off your roster, how many you're missing. We also can look at home building analysis, and we'll look at that really closely to see how whether or not there's a relationship. And it's one of the obvious things that many school boards say is, and they think is that, well, we've got new houses, we must be having new students. That's not the case. And in fact, it's not the case at all, and like some communities, we just finished a project last week with Belton, and they have no relationship at all whatsoever with new housing, zero. Okay, next. Overall, we provide the most comprehensive demographic study analysis anywhere in the market, anywhere in the country. And we look at the competition every year. No one I'm competing against who bids. Next. And the way we like to work with you, you always know what we promise, what we deliver. That's we're doing our work, 100%. And we did business for 5 years just on a handshake. We never signed a contract. You're always going to know we're going to stay within your budget, but we flat bill. We never change that. We want to be a long-term player with you. About 70 to 80% of our business is repeat business. So we like to keep people happy, and it works for us. And if you want to make changes and like us dig up some new data, we can do that too. To work with you is something that you really need. Okay? I think that's it. So, any questions? Now, thank you for being a tenant. I realize this is a sales pitch, but this also gives you an overview of what the monitors do and how we do it.
No, I appreciate you showing us that much information because we are, as far as I know, we've never done anything like this before, so it's good to know what we're talking about.
Well, I hope I've filled you in on some gaps.
Anybody have questions about anything specific that they would like to find out answers to, or what should be included?
What's the turnaround, the typical turnaround?
Yeah, it depends on how quickly we can get the data in the district and also our counties and the state to find out the birth rates and all that. But if the data comes to us and what we normally like and a good turnaround, we can probably from beginning to end like 3 to 4 months. If we started today, we probably had something to you by February at the latest.
Is there a way for you to present statistics about how the age group of people that are leaving and the age group that are moving in?
We do look at migration data, and the way I like to do that is I would actually get a file from your assessor to find out how many people how long they lived in their home when they last bought it. A lot of the assessor's data has it here in the state. It says when they last purchased a home, so that tells us the people that came in, and we can see whether or not that correlates with the new students that you got. I mean, what I will actually do is take that tax roll and I will match every single student in your roster to that tax roll to see what kind of house they live in. What's it valued at, how long they lived in it, and that way we can get an idea when you've got proposals for new house construction, how many students would be likely to live in a $125,000 house or a $300,000 house. So that's one way to track it. Now, that when they leave, it's a little bit tougher. But when they're coming in, we've got that plan. Now, also, one other thing I do with every roster is we send it to the National Change of Address database to get an idea of how many addresses you have that are current. Because some people register when they sign up in August, and they may actually move by the time we do the study in December, 6 months or 4 months to some other house. They may even move outside your district for all we know, who knows. But we double and check that, make sure the address is still accurate and within your district. So we've got a lot of different tools we use to try to see basically the nuts and bolts of what's happening here.
Because I know one of the questions the board has had for years is why our enrollment keeps dropping. Why is it dropping? And that's the question we would like to have.
Well, what we have to do basically is see what's the pool, what's your market share. I mean, sure, you're close to Belton here, and we just did the analysis of Belton, but that doesn't mean that the same problems that they have in Belton is what you have here. Because it may be a totally different design. They may be more diverse than you are. They may be an older community than what you are. But until we see what the dynamics are, we're not going to get a really feel of what the factors are that cause things to happen.
But you'll be able to have some kind of idea.
We will pinpoint it. We'll say, here's the factor and here's why.
Yeah.
I mean, out of almost 300 studies we've done, there's probably only been a couple of times we said we really don't know.
Well, let's hope we're not one of those.
No, we want that to be. I mean, that'd be a waste of time and money.
Is there a common source though between different places? I mean, is it pretty common, or is it?
I tell you, it'd be like night and day. Like when we did a study like for Oak Grove and Green Valley, they might as well be 5,000 miles apart.
Really?
Really. I mean, those were so totally different communities, and to be only a few miles apart next door. I mean, like I said, Belton and you may be 180 degrees apart. And you just don't know until you get in there and start crunching the numbers. So, I mean, that's not much of an answer, but that's the honest answer when you do the research.
Now, some of this, and the important, I'm gonna say some of the things that are not as fun to talk about, but Deb and I talk about attendance quite often. Why? Because it converts to our state aid, and there is going to be a change now that we're not receiving the COVID provision anymore. And we really need to know where we're going, because some of the hiring and the continuation of staff is dependent on hoping that there is a continued either stabilization or growth of students. And if we can determine that there's not, we have to make some decisions that are better financially for the district. And so I really do also appreciate, I think there's a hidden number of private school and homeschool students that we need to know about. One of the things that we've talked about before is all districts across the state, across the country, are seeing a decline in enrollment. Now, there are always the few and far between, but there is that. We just need to know what that is for us so that we're making appropriate decisions to let everybody know that Harrisonville is a welcoming school district and a great place for students to learn. So,
let me add that with Arkansas and Iowa, both to the north and south of us, having school choice programs that will be taking effect full bore in 2025. There's just a matter of time when the state of Missouri does that. And talked this afternoon with the state rep, and one of the things he's going to push for is going to be school choice. And there is no doubt in my mind that will happen in this state. It's a matter of what form it's going to take. So if you got a district as yours, it's maybe having some competition in a large degree of private or home school that we don't know about, you got a school choice voucher out there that's just going to add gas to the fire. So it's, it's just a fact that it's probably going to happen. It's just a matter of figuring out when and how. And one thing I recommended a district, I had a large district contact me, and they said, we know this is going to happen. It's here in Missouri. They said, we want to get ready for this. So what we want to do is put together a marketing list of all the families that have kids in the school district. And we want to extract those that we have enrolled, and then we'll know which ones are missing. And then that's your target list, if they're vouchered out there, so that you're going to have to compete. And so I worked with 4 different data vendors in order to put together a fairly comprehensive list of household by household, which families have kids that you can not be enrolled here. And they base that on like Amazon purchase of choice. And the one key clinker in there, and I went to one of the data vendors and said, you're missing too many, because grandparents like me were buying toys for the kids, and I was getting on their list. And I don't have the kids under the roof. So that's one thing they've had to clean up over the last few years. They have improved those lists. But that's one thing to be thinking about, that you're going to have to realize that this is where you're going to have to converge it, and once you get this data in your hand, how you going to go to the next level. I'll take more of your time, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Thank you. We really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
All right, well, thank you. If you have any other questions, let me know.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Really good. We'll move on to 6F, the cell tower agreement.
I move to approve the cell tower agreement as presented.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify by aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. We just took care of it. Okay, 6G, set date for winter board retreat. I know it's been hard, but we have come up with a date of December 8th as a date for our winter board retreat. So I would accept the motion for that, please.
We move to set December 8th, 2023 as the date for the board retreat.
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion Item H, separation notice incentive. I would accept a motion.
I move to approve the separation notice incentive as presented.
Second.
Discussion?
I know Dr. Parkhurst will continue to say this because it's very important to him, but the way that we're able to support our current staff that are either leaving us or attracting those that are coming to us, that retention and recruitment is very important, and this is a great way to show our thanks and support our staff as well.
I'm kind of surprised we don't, when we looked at the number of districts around us that didn't have or that did have a policy of that.
And the earlier we know, the more competitive we can be, the better groupings we'll have for interviews. So that's the whole goal.
Good plan. Okay, all those in favor, please signify by aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. Thank you for all your hard work on this. Student information system recommendation item I. Accept the motion, please.
I move to approve the quote from Infinite Campus for a student information system beginning with the 2024-2025 school year.
Second.
A motion and a second. Did you get all that, Susan?
I did.
Okay.
I didn't hear who said it down there, so Ashley did.
Okay, discussion. I know this was a lot of work
Yeah,
as well.
we had a big team. I'll tell you, we're behind the eight ball with this, but that team came together and made a very important decision in a timely manner, which we appreciate. Just to let you guys know, this will be a lot of work for us to do over this current school year. And as we head into next school year, we're going to hear good and bad of this, but this is something that has to happen, and that team determined the best possible product for us to be able to do that. Our current system, Tyler, is done, and they are not continuing their services anymore, and so we will have to move forward. We do have a financial program through Tyler. It is not the same as our student information system, so we will continue with that Tyler financial system.
Any questions? If not, all those in favor, please signify by aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. Item J, district radio quote. Accept the motion.
I move to approve the quote from Menco, is that how you say it? For district radios as presented.
Second.
A motion and a second. Discussion. This was another big project to put together to figure all this out, and it's a very good thing. The district will be much safer, I feel like, and the money to pay for it is coming from a grant, so that's even better. We're trying to be like you, Ann, and all this grant money. Well, I don't think we'll ever keep up with you, but
No, never.
this one is covered by a grant. So are there any questions about the radios? Okay. All those in favor, please signify by aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. Item K, revisions to board policy F285.
Move to approve the revisions to board policy F285E. Second.
One motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor, all those in favor, please signify by aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. I would accept a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn the regular meeting time 7:54 p.m.
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. Thank you, everyone.
Anything I can grab.